Good morning to all of you out there. Welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and thank you for watching us via Cignal TV, channels 8, or if you have high definition television, channel 250. You can also watch us granting that Facebook is already back online because nagka-Facebook outage po. So a lot of people woke up to their greatest, worst nightmare that when they went to Facebook, it was not there. Pati nga ako, nag-reset ng telepono. Turns out Facebook and all its other platforms had an actual problem. But that outage is highly suspicious because some of you are probably aware that Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, etc. is inundated. Binabaha sila ng akusasyon that Mark Zuckerberg, when given a choice between the good of the community versus the profit of the company, opted to go for the profit of the company, even if reportedly, allegedly, the policies that they were implementing were going to cause problems in the country or wherever, kasi parang the more sensational the post, the more they post it, or they rotate it, or whatever the term is. Anyway, you can also watch us via YouTube. Just look for One News PH, and if you really want to watch us on the go, download the Cignal Play app. Okay, just so you know, today our guest is a living guest, is an available guest, is a guest who will be speaking to us, and also a regular here on Agenda. We will be interviewing Vice Presidential candidate Lito Atienza later in the program. But before we get into all of that, thank you. Okay, there you go. Naunahan na naman ako nito si Arvic. Anyway, the daily starter for today: for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. For those of you who are non-religious or non-spiritual or medyo nagsasawa na sa Bible, there is a practical application for this, okay? I'm sure that many of you at one time or another have wondered or asked if there is something bigger or more significant than what you are currently doing or have done in your life. The ongoing filing of COCs has surely infected or affected your thoughts as they have done to me, and I could not help but ask God if I was doing enough or should I be more invested in the country and our people. I think the only reason God gave me a speedy reply was to make sure I did not lead myself into temptation and got into politics. For one whole week, okay, I kept hearing or coming across the message in Matthew 11, verses 28 to 30, and it begins with verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Many of us are certainly weary, if not sick and tired of politics and poor governance in our country, and may have a burden to run. Parang iniisip mo, tumakbo na lang ako, baka may mangyari pang ibang mas matino for public office or politics. Others simply want to do something more significant. But when I actually sat down to think about verse 30, our daily starter, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light," everything suddenly became very clear. That God does not expect us to be Superman, Avengers, or Wonder Women. That is God's department and then some. He has emphasized that He wants obedience, not sacrifice. Jesus emphasized on love and loving our neighbors. If you love someone, whatever you do is not a sacrifice, okay? And it comes easy. If what you are doing, your job, making a commitment, and you do it out of love or because you love doing it, then it is all light and easy. as far as significant is concerned, giving birth to a baby, raising a family, building a home, more than a house, all of these add up in building a community and building a nation. Politics cannot do that. Loving God is light, and when it is true, is no burden at all. O, di kita nyo na, kung gamitin nyo yung pagmamahal, walang problema kahit anong gawin nyo, light and easy. That's our daily starter for the day. Now, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Okay, let's go to the front page. Okay, there you go. And there you have it. These groups want to restrict unvaccinated employees. Lumabas na po yung mga business groups, companies, and they are calling on government to mandate, even siguro Congress, that private companies and businesses be given the right to restrict unvaccinated employees and even customers because they really want to get the economy running but not compromise the health sector. And now we will go to the upper header of the Philippine Star. Formally execs exec backtracks on swindling case. If you remember that formerly executive Ms. Mago, who testified in the Senate that the government was swindled or that they had switched and retagged products, etc. Well, she showed up in Congress. And when she showed up in Congress after several days of disappearance, iba na po yung kanyang song. Iba na yung kanyang kanta. And she was saying she felt pressured, she went into a panic, etc., etc. Hindi na po ako opinionate diyan, okay? Now, back to the front page and there you go. Philippines to purchase 100 million COVID shots next year, according to Secretary Carlito Galvez. Alam niyo po, kailangan natin yan because the vaccination is an annual thing, especially for something we are just beginning to understand or get a hold of. So, Secretary Carlito Galvez, congratulations for your efforts, your great efforts. And we do hope na maaga pa lang makabili na tayo niyang 100 million na yan, okay? And then, next up in the news, 2,774 families affected by NCR lockdowns. Now, the number looks big, ladies and gentlemen, but that is nothing. That is microscopic because we are only talking about families in the National Capital Region, okay, where that have actual COVID cases. Kumbaga, lumiit na according to MMDA Chairman Benhar Abalos, it is now microscopic. Hindi katulad noon 17 cities and 1 municipality, 15 million people locked down. Now, it's just 2,774 families. Okay, so that's it. Now, next up, we have conditions set for jobs on minors. Kasi yan na po, no? Pinag-uusapan na yan, yung mga conditions. Having any of 11 comorbidities may qualify a minor, okay? A minor for COVID-19 inoculation according to Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere. Yung mga pre-existing conditions, ito yung mga medical complexity, genetic conditions, neurologic conditions, metabolic, endocrine, cardiovascular disease, obesity, HIV infection, tuberculosis, chronic respiratory disease, renal disorder, and hepatobiliary disease. Yun po, kung meron yung bata ng isa dyan sa isang mga karamdaman or medical condition, pwedeng ma-inoculate yung bata. Okay. Isko, finally, Isko Moreno filed his candidacy yesterday with Doc Willie Ong, and he is chanting his slogan, "Let me heal our land." Ano ka, propeta o Diyos? Let me heal our land. Only God can heal the land. Sorry po, no? Walang no offense meant, pero I think Mayor Moreno should talk to his writers and be careful about their statements kasi yung mga heal our land, Diyos lang po ang nakakagawa. But anyway, let's focus on what's in the news, and that's it. They filed their candidacy yesterday, so tatakbo na. Now, the good news, COVID-19 tally of Philippine cases, confirmed cases 10,748. Mataas pa rin pero matuwa na tayo dahil compared to 2 weeks ago, that is only half of the number 2 weeks ago, and even the number of deaths has gone down. Yesterday, it was in around 112 that died last Sunday. Yesterday, the reports here is only 61 died. Kung isa naman doon, mahal mo, girlfriend mo, lolo mong beloved lolo, masakit po yun na nakikirami kami sa mga namatayan. And that is why I have always emphasized na focus on the number of deaths. The total number of dead Filipinos because of COVID, malapit na. Ilang guhit na lang, 38,828. Malapit nang mag-39,000. Sana hindi na umabot sa 40,000. Anyway, yan po ang tally of number of cases. Okay. Now, next up, we have the ito, nako, yan na. Secretary Roque stated the certificate of candidacies can still be withdrawn. Okay? Yun po yung kasi parang reaction nila to the filing for re-election of Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio. And according to my sources, when it comes to Sara Duterte Carpio, pay close attention to what Secretary Harry Roque says and what Amy Marcos says, because they reportedly are BFFs of Sara. Nakikisara na rin ako, no? Pero hindi po. So that if Secretary Roque is suggesting that COCs can still be withdrawn, he may be suggesting that Sara Duterte might withdraw. And sabi nga nila, up to November 15 pa yung labanan na yan. Okay, now let's go to the other news. And on the front page, Mark Villar, Mark Villar of the DPWH resigns as secretary kasi nga po tatakbo siya ng senador. Okay, yan po. That is the problem of running in the Philippines. We are so paranoid about cheating, about misrepresentation, abuse of authority, etc., that people are forced to resign their livelihood or their responsibility. Parang si Rafi Tulfo. He had to resign his program. Sabi ko nga, hirap pala, no? Tatakbo kang senador, biglang wala ka, unemployed ka muna. You have to be unemployed before you run. Okay, and in the bottom of the Philippine Star, let's talk about beauty pageant o business. Beauty pageant. A Cebuana engineer was crowned Miss World Philippines. Okay? Dyan sa Subic Bay. Tracy Maureen Perez, 28, who bested 43 other candidates during the coronation night. Okay. interesting thing about this Miss World, my wife was watching it and she said, the profile of the Filipina has completely changed. Most of them are half something, half American, half British, half French, or half Italian, etc., etc. Anyway, that's it for the front page of the Philippine Star. Cebuana engineer crowned Miss World Philippines. Okie dokie. So, tayo na po. Let's go to our very patient and regular guest here on agenda, the first vice presidential candidate to grace our program digitally, but actually, hindi katulad yung kahapon, nag-confirm ng 3 beses. Bigla akong ginost. Anyway, let's bring in someone who has served as mayor, I think 3 times in the city of Manila. He has served as secretary of the Department of Natural Resources and Environment, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and also as congressman. So in terms of experience, malawak na po ang kanyang na hawakang posisyon. And kung naman pasasayawin nyo sa entablado, wag, hindi kayo mananalo. Kasi if I'm not mistaken, he was member of the Bayanihan, if my memory serves me correctly. Let's now go to our first guest among the vice presidential candidates, Mr. Lito Atienza.
Bilang Pilipino.
Mr. Vice President, good morning.
Mabuhay at magandang umaga. Cito, I like your smile.
Well, I wanted to see what your reaction was going to be because, some people go, wag. And at least you took it in stride. Mukhang pinaghandaan mo.
Hindi, alam mo, yan ang aking reaction. Unang sinabi sa akin ni Manny Pacquiao, I want you to be my vice presidential candidate. I said, no. I have recommended so many. Any one of them can do. Sabi niya, hindi. Talagang saan kong tignan, you are perfect to be my running mate. Not only in the campaign, but also in administering the Philippines. Sapagkat maraming problema, pero lahat yan mga hinawakan mo na at nagawan mo na remedyo. So, he requested me. And I said, no. Up to the last minute, through the night, the next morning, when we saw each other over breakfast, I said again, no, I think we should call up all of this as a last minute. Hindi na. Ako decided na ako.
Okay, you said no, pero alam mo ikaw naman pogi ka, sir, no? Pogi ka. I'm sure marami ng mga babaeng dalaga, mga ladies who have swooned over you. And you're familiar with the saying na your lips may be saying no, but your eyes are saying yes.
No.
Baka matagal mo pinagnanasaan mag-vice president.
I really mean it, Cito. I did not seek it. I did not plot or plan anything for myself. Decidido na ako eh. In fact, I already told you in our last program with you, I am retiring after this term in Congress because I have served politics in the country for 50 years already. 5 decades. Tama na yun, sabi ko. I'll devote the rest of my life enjoying myself with my family, with my grandchildren, traveling around, enjoying life.
But what changed? What changed?
Pero may kasabihan tayo. Man plants and plants, God laughs. Because tingin ko, since I prayed hard that night of Thursday, I prayed hard and I prayed with Kim on the phone. And I was asking for guidance. Show me the way. What do you want me to do? Yung saying today that you read from the Bible aptly applies to my case. So my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Sa aking karanasan sa politika, basta God-centered ang decision mo, I tell you, the campaign becomes so light and then you end up winning.
Because you love doing it.
In Manila, 84, Nobody gave me a chance. My own father cautioned me. Joselito, I know your good intentions, but I don't want you to run and run against KBL machinery. It's so powerful. You have no chance. Because Dad, my intentions are just to be able to talk to the people, explain to them the abuses of this government, why martial law should be lifted, why we should go back to democracy. Yun po, yun ang aking intensyon. Then he gave me his blessing. Sabi niya, if that is your intention, prepare to be cheated, and I know you would know how to take it. I went through that campaign. Believe me, Cito, so easy. And we beat the team of Imelda Marcos in Manila. We trounced them. I followed the guidance of my prayers, and as a bonus, I even won my seat in the regular Batasan Pambansa. Guided by my prayers, and I cut the Bible so many times, it landed in the passage of David and Goliath. Which
Mabuti
gave
na
me the
lang.
message. You
Mabuti
have to
na
be
lang
in the
nung
opposition.
mabuti na lang nung nag-Bible cut ka, hindi ka pumunta doon sa verse na and Judas hung himself. Kasi delikado yung mga Bible cut Bible, yung mga bubiyak mo ganyan, yung
Pero,
mga delikado.
Sito, may confirmation to eh. Because I woke up my wife, madaling araw. Sabi ko, alam mo, natatakot ako rin sa message eh. Parang sinasabi sa akin, I have to fight the KBL machine. While we were talking about it, I opened the radio, and the preacher on radio was talking about David and Goliath. Alam niyo, merong kasaysayan ng isang simpleng pastol na tinalo yung higante. Sabi ko, ayoko pa rin tanggapin. Sito, I tried my best rejecting the idea. Nung gabi, nagmisa kami sa Cignal Church. Abay, nakaupo ako rin eh. Ang homily ng pare, David ang Goliath. Kayo may mga sumunod kayo sa inspirasyon ng Panginoon Diyos.
Okay.
Hindi na ako makakawala rito. That's exactly what happened to me. When up to the last minute, Manny was explaining to me, you want me to win, you want me to succeed as a president, then I need you. So I have to give credit also to Manny being an instrument in succeeding.
Okay, now was this Manny and Lito talking, or did someone broker this? Because
No.
kilala mo naman ako, sir,
Manny directly.
allergic ako sa broker.
No. There was no broker. Manny spoke to me from heart to heart. I've known you. You've known me for 2 decades, more than 2 decades. We've been through difficult times, and I'm asking you, sincerely, since I know you very well.
But do you have
We
an
can work
alignment? Do you have a personal alignment or a political alignment with Manny Pacquiao? And I'm not being contrabida here, no? I'm just asking the questions because I wrote in my piece last Monday that if you're going to give your name to something or to someone, one of the things you need to make sure is that you are aligned. Kasi ang pinakamahirap yung maghihiwalay kayo ng landas bandang huli.
Tama. I agree with you, Cito. For the country to be succeeding in uplifting the lives of our people, kailangan nagkakaisa yung presidente at vice-presidente. At yun ang aking intensyon. Tulungan si Manny all the way and not to be contradicting him every step of the way. Kailangan nagkakaisa yung presidente at vice-presidente. Kaya yung mga nagsasabi sa akin, tutulungan ka namin dito. Naku po. Excited yung kaibigan ko. Kung tutulungan niyo ako, tulungan niyo si Manny Pacquiao because I don't want to be vice president with any other president.
I have to be honest, okay? His numbers are not that great. And there are a lot of doubters and people are saying, ay nako, Lito Atienza may sound or look like a spare tire, but in fact, he is more than a spare tire. Siya yung salbabida, lifesaver. Kumbaga, your political experience, your know-how is what will keep this candidacy afloat. But what guarantees do you have that after you swim to shore and pull the tag is that you will still be part of this marathon team?
Sito, una, hindi ako naniniwala sa mga survey ngayon. Kapag ito, ginagawa ito via Zoom, internet, impersonal, hindi face-to-face. Dahil kung ang mga mahihirap ay mayroong computer, hindi mahirap yun. Kaya hindi tinatamaan yung mass-based ni money. Ang mass-based ni money, yung mahihirap ng ating bansa. Sana nakasama ka namin nung nag-file kami ng certificate. That's what I really got convinced. Sabi ko, money is the man of this particular period. Ang mga tao lumalabas sa kanilang mga tahanan, bumabati sa lansangan, umiiyak, lumulundag sa tuwa. Alam mo, marami na akong kampanya dinaanan, Cito. Yan ang mga palatandaan ng isang tao mayroong tunay na suporta, may hila ng blocking malaki na magdadala sa kanyang tagumpay. Money is the hero of the downtrodden, the poor, belonging to the DE class of our society. A big portion of the C, D, and E. Hindi tinatamaan ng survey ng Pulse Asia yan, ng social weather. Pero yung kung mag-house-to-house survey ka, kasama sila, yung DNE, palagay ko malayong-malayo si Manny Pacquiao. Pero ba nag-file ng certificate of candidacy na sinamahan ng tao ng kanilang sigaw, dasal, hiyaw, na meron halong kasiyahan, sumisigaw. Tumuloy ka, Manny. Fight for us, Manny. Manny, paglaban mo kami. Yung mga sigaw na yan, merong lalim yan. Merong hinanakit yan na matagal nang kinikimkim ng ating mga kababayan. Sapagkat paghihirap ay paikot-ikot nga lamang naman. Pinapangakuan ng mga politiko pagdating ng eleksyon. Pagkatapos ng eleksyon, anong hinihintay nyo? Pinangakuan ko na
Pero sir, meron ba kayong pinag-usapan? Did you come to an agreement for your terms of engagement? Kasi tatapatin ko na kayo, sir, no? Kayo, you're very experienced, you're also very outspoken, and you always say what's on your mind. Even on the program, kung minsan, tayong dalawa, napipilitan akong, let's go to GAP dahil magwawala ito. Hindi pepreno ito si Lito Atienza. But, when you go into the situation of president and vice president, there has to be, kumbaga, mag-asawa, let us agree on rules on how we will fight, how we will spend the money, etc. Have you reached that point before you said yes? Nilatag na ba yung dalawa, okay, ganito ang magiging relationship natin?
In a way, in a big way, yes. Alam nyo, matagal na kami magkasama ni Manny. Matagal na kami nag-uusap. Alam ko ang damdamin niya. Alam niya ang frustrations ko sa gobyerno. Kaya pag pinag-uusapan yung ano ang gagawin niya kung sakaling manalo siya, noong pa man, nagkakasundo na kami. In a way, in a big way, we agree on a certain platform that is meant to improve the quality of lives of people, our Filipinos, fellow Filipinos, who want a better life. We deserve a better life. Ang frustrations ni Manny, frustrations ko rin. Kaya yung kanyang adikain para sa mahihirap, yan din ang aking pinagsisikapan sa simula't-simula pa. Kaya we immediately agreed on one program. Ito, gusto ko ibahagi sa inyo.
Okay.
Yung mga supplies ng gobyerno na pinagkakaguluhan ngayon sa Parmali, DBMPS. Kung si Manny masusunod, lahat ng supplies ng gobyerno ay kukunin niya sa kooperatiba ng iba't ibang mga grupo. Kukunin niya sa kooperatiba ng bayan upang yung korupsyon sa pagbili, komisyon sa mga binibili, yung mga SOP ay unti-unti nating maalis. Because you cannot fight corruption by just one instant. You have to have systems change. And but purchasing is number one source of corruption. So nung ini-explain niya sa akin yan, immediately naalala ko, ginawa ko na yan sa City Hall. Ginawa ko na yan sa Department of Environment, where we bought supplies from the cooperative of the department. And at the end of the year, may bonus ang bawat empleyado, 25,000, 35,000, depending on his investment in the cooperative. So it works. The cooperative is the shortest way to improve lives of our people.
Okay. Did you
Sapagkat
guys
yan ay talagang paraan upang
napag-usapan niyo na ba
democratize
yung
pera.
okay, napag-usapan niyo na ba yung program of government? And meron na ba kayong at least maybe top 6 potential cabinet members? Kasi pinagmamagaling sa akin nung kababayan mo sa Maynila, nung mga tao nung kababayan mo sa Maynila, natatakbo rin presidente, na meron na raw silang napiling cabinet member. Pero nung hiningi ko yung mga pangalan, biglang parang, ewan ko, malayo pa naman ng November 1, ang daming nag-ghost sa akin. Kayo ba, napag-usapan nyo na ba ang program of government and sino yung mga at least first 5 or first 6 cabinet members?
Isa lang ang basic condition na naririnig ko sa iyo palagi. Ang nais niya ay mga Pilipinong masina unknown, basta merong konting background, but full of integrity, unblemished by corruption. Yun ang importante kay Manny. He's really, para bagang nakasentro siya na hindi tayo uulad kung hindi natin buburahin ang corruption. Corruption is the cause of power.
Sir, people will crucify me for making this statement, pero I have to be a journalist before anything. You know, politics is not church. And one of the things that many people have been commenting on is, baka puro integrity, and puro kayo spirituality dyan, mga praise the Lord, pagkatapos wala naman tayong competency at wala tayong plano. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know that I have prayed over Manny. He is a brother in the Lord and I will pray for him, but I will not refrain from challenging his program or what your plans are. Ano ba talaga ang plano? Maliban dyan sa cooperative-based purchases. Kasi ang tanong sa akin kadalasan, Kuyang, ano ba ipapakain sa amin ng mga politiko na yan?
Yan ang gusto ko kay Manny. Si Manny is not a typical traditional politician. Ngayon lang, nakikita ko close up. Pagpili ng kandidato, walang pinag-uusapang, ito, bibigyan kita pera. Ito, pangunahin. In the middle, bibigyan pa kita. I am happy with that because we should be cost-oriented. Ngayon palang kampanya, ipakita na natin, iba ito iba itong gobyerno, itong grupong ito. We want to reform, and if we are reforming, through the campaign, we should use some other means so we get and attract better people on our side. So I agree with you. The frustration on promises and broken promises is already deeply embedded in the body of our people, the bodies of our people. Kaya ito'y nakakasawa na ito. Pero I can tell you with total conviction, Manny Pacquiao is very different from a typical politician.
Let's go for a quick break. Hindi ko na alam kung itatawag ko siya, VP, Congressman, Mayor. Sir, we'll go for a quick break and then when we return, we go to brass tacks, money, expenditures, plans, etc. here on Agenda. Maghintay po tayo. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and with us is our first vice presidential candidate interviewee, none other than Congressman Lito Atienza. Congressman, I'll bring the focus to you because in the Philippines, we do not vote jointly for president and vice president. There is a possibility that in the outcome of the elections, magkahiwalay, one will win, one will lose. Assuming that you win, what would be your priorities or priorities or things that can you want to focus on?
Well, first, Cito, I'll be very, very truthful to you, as I've always been. I hope I do not win by myself. I don't want to be vice president to any other candidate whom I know all of them. And believe me, if it's not going to be Manny Pacquiao as president and Lito Atienza as vice president, I pray to God, huwag mo akong papanaluhin. And I ask all my friends, don't vote for me if you're not voting for Manny Pacquiao. I
If
would
the
like only to be a partner of a good man, and I believe
Okay.
in Manny.
But what happens if the trend or the direction of the campaign comes to a point na, teka, mukhang hindi tayo mananalo dito or malakas si Lito Atienza, mahina si Manny Pacquiao, will Lito Atienza also quit the race?
I would insist on that. Don't vote for me. I'll tell our people, don't vote for me if you're voting for somebody else. You're voting for this president candidate, vote for his vice president para meron tayong harmony. One of the main reasons why we remain stagnant and going around in circles dahil yung presidente, vice-presidente nag-aaway. Look what happened to Leni Robredo and Duterte. Look what happened to the combined tickets that won in the past. Walang nagagawa kapag yung vice-presidente naglalaway. Nakatingin sa upuan ng presidente. Gusto niya maging presidente na siya. Kaya he or she sabotages every move of the president. The people suffer. And Louis, rather, kilala ko kasi papa mo eh. Cito, I've proven this in Manila. When we were campaigning, and I was more popular than Mayor Lin, the NBI policeman, and I told my people, I told my audiences, if you're voting for me, thank you. But please, vote for my mayor para magtrabaho kami magkasama. If you're voting for him, please vote for me. Don't have a missed ticket. If you're
Okay.
voting for the other mayor, vote for his vice mayor. Ako na
Okay.
kumakampanya para sa kalabang ko. Dahil ang iniisip natin, ang iniisip ko, kaya lang ako pumayag dito, to be of help to a good president. And to me, it's Manny Pacquiao.
You know, Congressman, I'd been thinking about all of this politics this week. Ewan ko ba kung bakit, pero kasi dinadatnan din ako ng maraming politikong nagkukonsulta, humingi ng payo. And one thing I realized is, as I mentioned earlier, in order to run, you have to be unemployed. And kasi katulad si Raffy Tulfo, ganda-ganda ng buhay niya. Biglang pinasok na yung pagkatatakbong senador. He has to resign. And other people have to do that. Now, a local government official, a mayor, told me, ako Zito, if I'm going to run, I expect so and so to bankroll my candidacy. I will not spend my hard-earned money anymore just so that this congressman can have a constituency in my district or in my city. So in your case, running, saying yes to be vice president is sacrifice enough or risk enough. Pero pera-pera, alam ko namang hindi ka bilyonaryo. Paano na yan? Did Manny say, I'll foot the tab?
Of course, malinaw naman yun. Ako'y pumasok dito na wala akong daladalang pera. Wala akong sarili kong yaman. So I will be very dependent on money's resources.
Okay, but
We
but
may
you
be
know,
running on a shoestring budget, contemplate lang. Pero wala kami pinagkakautangan ng loob.
okay, but what about the possibility that just like in many homes all over the world, he who has the gold makes the rules. Eh, baka mamaya dumating tayo sa punto na nanalo nga kayong dalawa at sasabihan kang, Sir, kumayakoy ka na lang dyan, pakipaglaro ka na lang sa apo mo dahil ako naman yung gumastos.
Cito, my 50 years background and experience and foundation of my politics and my person and my character will not allow that. I've been tempted many, many times in office, but I'm proud to say, I'm proud to look at myself in the mirror. You have succeeded in rejecting this. As Mayor of Manila, you can make money every day and every minute of the day if you want to. That's your agenda. Madaling-madali yan. As DNR Secretary, ganun din. The temptation is very clear. May nagpapapirma sa akin ng Malampaya Project. Meron daw akong 100 million deal na yan. Sabi ko, malis ka na nga rito. Huwag na natin pag-usapan yan. I will not sign that, whatever you say, because that is corruption. Meron akong ginagagalitan. Yung mga ganyang klaseng tukso. Tama ka. Yung tukso, pag upo mo sa kusina mo, andyan na agad yan. Sabi ko, yung Balampaya Fund, dapat siyang ginagastos yan para doon sa subsidy ng kuryente ng mga tao, gasolina ng mga jeepney driver. Eh, may project ka, paano mo napaprobahan niya? Eh, sabi niya, aprobado na ng Malacanang. Wala akong pakialam. Don't bring the project to me. I will not sign it because that is plain and simple misusing public funds.
Okay, you use the word agenda. That's why yan naman ang title ng programa natin, ano, agenda.
Yan.
Okay, ang tanong nga, sir, ano ang agenda mo? As the Americans love to say, what's in it for you?
Ang agenda ko, mabuo ko ang aking serbisyo sa ating bansa na nakatulong ako sa pag-angat, pagbabago ng pamumuhay ng tao. Meron tayong paraan, dinaanan ko na yan. Yung ating natural resources, sobra. Pero saan napupunta? Saan napunta yung 14 million hectares of green virgin forest? Who used all the minerals of the land? Saan napunta ang mga bakawan na naglipana sa buong kapuluan? Napunta yan sa kamay ng ilang tao lang. Sapagkat yung mga nakaupo nun, sila ang mga pasimuno. I ask you, saan napupunta yung Malampaya Fund? How many years have we been producing fuel and oil? But we have not gotten a single centavo benefit out of that. And then here comes somebody, you sign this and you get 100 million. Gusto ko pakulong kita. Yan ang sinabi ko sa kanya. Yung Cost of Modernization Act.
Okay, but sir, what's in it for you? Kasi, I mean, kahit na itabi ko lang yung politics.
What is in it for me? Cito, I respect and honor my father. And in his last dying moments, he told me, Joselito, I have nothing to leave you behind. Material things, wala ako. But I'm leaving you a good name. My name is Pepe Atienza. You inherit that. I give that to you now. I'm ready to go. Yun ang intention ko. To give my children, my grandchildren,
A legacy.
to continue the legacy.
Okay,
That's
now,
bigger than wealth. That's much more valuable than all the money in the world. Kaya hindi mo ko matutokso. As mayor, ang dami-daming mga projects na pag makikita ka rin ng 200 million, 100 million, takpan lang lahat ng mga estero.
okay,
Babayaran
now,
ko yung 200 million ng isang type of government. Wala akong pakialam dyan.
may nagtatanong dito, kayo ba ay na-opera ng cabinet position if manalo si Pacquiao? Win or lose ang Vice President, were you guaranteed a cabinet position?
No.
Or if in the long term, nagkaroon na ng, alam niyo na, yung political horse trading at biglang may lumapit sa'yo, kung mukhang malabo na yung takbo na yan, imbis na malaglag tayong lahat, ibigay mo na lang sa akin yung suporta, I will make you a cabinet member. Will you agree to a horse trade, and what position would you take?
When I decided to help Manny Pacquiao in the campaign and in the administration, That's it. I know that that is God-given. Hindi ko ginusto ito. And I'll just follow that line. No horse trading, no personal agenda, no nothing
Okay.
for me.
What about your...
My success is to give our people a better
Okay,
life.
how do you assess your chances, yung ano laban mo sa mga Bongo, Tito Soto, hindi ko na alam kung sino pa yung taas, yung, well, Willie Ong, with all respect to Willie, medyo llamado ka naman kay Doc Willie Ong, pero yung Bongo at saka Tito Soto, may mga nagsasabi sa akin, pare, hirap banggain yung dalawang yan. Yung iba, yung isa veterano, yung isa loaded.
Alam mo, I have never looked at the formidability or the invincibility of my opponent. When I fought the Marcoses know. In Manila, they offered me everything that they could, but they failed, and I beat them. The KBL was flattened in the city of Manila with our nightly communication effort on the communities. When I fought the mayoralty in 1998, ang kalabang ko nun, Senate President of the land, and a veteran politician, Ernie Maceda. May his soul rest in peace. Sabi ng mga tao, walang kalaban-laban si Lito. Lahat ng pera, kapangyarihan, hawak ni Ernie. Kalaban ko yung Bagatsing, Lopez. These are big political families in Manila. Kasi at yan, tigaran lang yan sa Nandes Bukid. Laki lamang yan sa Paco.
Yeah, but how will you...
Taunted by my enemies.
Yeah, but how will you reapply that tactic? Kasi iba yung lungsod ng Maynila. The city of Manila is a small territory compared to the Republic of the Philippines. And do you honestly, pasensya ka na, Sarah, do you honestly believe your counts will be voted? Kasi ngayon pa lang may nagsasabi na sa akin, Cito, done deal na unless you have 1 billion to neutralize it. Done deal na yan, bilangan na yan, wala nga mga security features yung mga counting machines, etc.
Yan ang aking worry. I join you in that. And I worry about the nation and our election and our democracy. Sapagkat talagang nadadaya yung bilangan, and I know that. I'm too exposed to what has happened in the past, and I know they can manipulate the results through these counting machines. So kailangan lang talaga. We have to do our share, magbantay ang mga tao, be alert, and let's always be on the side of truth. Kung nanalo, nanalo. Kung natalo, ipaglaban. Kung natalo, dahil dinaya, ipaglaban natin. Ganyan
Okay.
na ganyan ang ginawa nila kay Cory. Dito.
Okay,
They
baka
cheated
ikaw...
Cory, and in the end, after a short period, Marcos was flying out of the country. At pagkat nandaya siya, lumabas siya ng bansa, tumalilis, tumakbo sa Hawaii. So, nagwag.
Okay. You mentioned the name of Marcos, so I have to ask kasi right now ang chismis ay nag-uusap si Bongbong daw at sila Villar regarding Bongbong's candidacy. Now the question is who's going to run for president, who's going to run for vice president. All of these people are people you have worked with, tangled with, etc. What is your take on the attempts of people to push Bongbong Marcos to run either for VP or for president? And if he runs for VP, bangga kayo, ikaw, si Bongo at saka si Tito Soto.
Well, sabi ko nga kanina, I am not in any way affected nor daunted by wealth, power, money. Hinarap ko na yan sa aking politika. Ngayon, kung sakasakaling tatakbo na naman ang isang Marcos, ay kailangan ipaliwanag natin sa ating mga mamamayan, bakit natin ibabalik na naman ang mga Marcos sa kapangyarihan. And alam ko naman, kitang-kita ko na yung kanilang pagsisikap sa historical revisionism. They want to revise history and make the memory of the late strongman one of a glorious administration, munlat ang buhay ng Pilipinas. Hindi ko pwedeng sang-ayunan yun. Siguro kaya ako nilagay ng Panginoon dito ngayon para ipaliwanag sa tao yung kontrapunto, yung dinaanan ko kasi yung hirap ng martial law eh. Yung paghihirap ko personal. Yung ikaw ay kulong na wala kang kasalanan. Abay, nagkukumuyam ang damdamin mo, wala kang magawa. Kaya pag naririnig ko si Bongbong na nagsasabing, walang ginawang masama ang tatay ko, I tell myself, God willed it that I would survive all of these periods of trial to be able to tell the story to the young. Hindi totoo yan. Ang dami
Okay.
namatay ng mga kabataan na lumalaban para sa demokrasya ng mga panahon ng tatay mo. Hindi ka pa nagsosorry, binabago mo ng kasaysayan. I have
Okay,
nothing
let's
against
go.
Bongbong, ha? I have
Yeah,
nothing against Bongbong.
let's go for a quick break. We'll be right back for the remaining time here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and joining us for the remainder of the program, we still have with us Congressman Lito Atienza, running for Vice President of the Philippines. Congressman, I've been requested by my executive producer, please ask for a reaction regarding the statement of the spokesman for Vice President Leni Robredo na nagsasabing, and if I may quote, ay to Atienza, make sure statements versus Lenny are accurate. Now, nagtataka akong may ganito. I only saw it now. And I suppose I will follow up that with what's happening to the opposition. Kasi parang meron daw tunay na opposition, merong peking opposition, merong pretending opposition. Could you please respond, Congressman?
Siguro dahil sa nasabi ko nung sa isang interview na hindi pa ako nagugulat sa mga record, mga ginagawa ni Vice President Leni Robredo. The mere fact that she failed to be effective even under President Duterte doesn't speak well of her. Dahil pagka ikaw ay number 2, dapat gawin mo lahat ng paraan upang makapaglingkod ka sa tao. At lulunin mo yung pride mo. Number 2 ka lang eh. Dinaanan ko yan eh. I was Vice Mayor to Mayor Lim. Ang hirap pakisamahan, pero pinakisamahan ko dahil sinubjugate ko yung sarili ko. Number 2 ka. And I kept on reminding myself, do not overshadow, do not even attempt to outdo. Because he is the mayor, you are just Vice Mayor. Yun ang ibig ko sabihin, wala akong nakitang ganon kay Lenny. And we were together in Congress for 3 years. Wala rin akong nakitang kagila-gilalas na nakasama ko siya sa floor fighting for what is right. So, don't blame me, Barry, for not being impressed with Leni Robredo because wala siya eh. Talagang wala eh. Kung meron, ako na madaling-madali kong tatanggapin yan dahil unang-una, she's identified with the Liberal Party. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Liberal Party. You know that, Barry. My family is one of the co-founders of this party.
Yeah, original
The rest is
kayo. Kayo yung
I don't wanna
mga
go
poste
back
ng liberal.
what happened, but I have nothing against Leni Robredo, but I'm talking about track record. Well, Manny Pacquiao, nakita ko how he fights. Yung kanyang patriotic sense, yung kanyang passion, yun ang hinahanap ko sa mga tutulungan kong leader. At yung po namang nasabi ko, ay uulitin ko rin. Hindi ako nagugulat sa mga ginagawa ng ating Vice President dahil nasasakripisyo ang tao sa kanilang hidwaan. Para
Okay.
kayong mag-asawa eh. Somebody has to sacrifice.
We're
Like
down to
today.
our last.
Today,
We're down to
it's
yeah.
very, very a great opportunity for Vice President Lenin Robredo. I want unity. I will cause unity. I am not running for president. I want one of you to run. Ganun sana ang approach. Merong self-sacrificing, hindi yung usap-usap, pero actually, I want to run also. Eh, paano ka makakapag-unite kung ikaw kasali ka sa labanan? Yan ang nangyayari sa opposition ngayon eh. The Vice President really wants to run. And I bet you, she will run. Because hindi niya mapag-unite si Scott, si Manny Pacquiao, dahil kasali siya sa usapan eh. But if she started it by saying, I am not interested, I am going to sacrifice my own plans and my own thinking for the nation. Aba, lahat kami, sigurado, isa na ako magbo-volunteer sa kanya. Larry, I would want to help you. Pero
Okay. Congressman, pasensya ka na.
behind me.
Okay, pasensya ka na, Congressman, kasi maubusan tayo ng oras. I just have one critical question, one important question to ask you. I have been told by some people that the current administration will throw its support to someone who is, kumbaga, parang neutral. Si Isko naman nagsabi na I will be the healing president. There is always this talk about healing, unity, and then moving forward. What is your position on all of this? Kasi naglalabasan yung mga anomalya, yung mga EJK, yung ICC, etc. What would the Pacquiao-Atienza tandem be? Are you a tandem of, let's resolve and move forward, or everything has to be accounted for and justice has to be done?
You said it, Cito. Everything has to be accounted for. There cannot be justice without first admission of guilt. There cannot be any neutrality if there is no admission of what went wrong. Kaya gusto ko yung naririnig ko kay Manny Pacquiao. Yung mga nagnakaw sa gobyerno, ikukulong ko. Dahil hindi tayo titigil sa korupsyon hanggat paikot-ikot lang tayo. Yung nagnanakaw, tatakbo ulit sa posisyon, mananalo na naman. Saan nga naman tayo pupunta? So we have to put a stop to all of this. And to me, Manny Pacquiao is the only one who can do it because he has the guts. Wala siyang pakialam sa kaligtasan, sa buhay niya. He has fought giants, the biggest men in the ring, and he has fought them, and he has defeated and flattened them. Kaya ako'y kumbinsido. Manny Pacquiao is a man who's just, God-fearing, and definitely going to be fair. Ako naman, aalalay sa kanya. In every step of the way, pagka hindi naman tama, I will remind him. At nakikinig si Manny. If there is one element in this man, he listens and he follows wisdom to be guiding him. And most of all, his spiritual strength, which is there. And
Yeah, but what about the Wibulong people around all of these
Alam mo,
people? Prangkahan lang, sir, kasi may nagsabi sa akin.
I will be frank with you. Nakikita ko, ngayon pa lang, Manny is God protected. Why? Because lahat yung mga Wibulong, yung mga negative element, nakilala ko yan, nakita ko na yan. Unti-unting natatastas eh. Na hindi naman niya sinasaktan, hindi naman nagagaling kay Manny. Pero lahat sila natatastas. Wala na sa paligid niya ngayon. Malinis na ang paligid ni Manny Pacquiao without him lifting a finger.
Meron pa rin. At yung mga hindi matastas, laslasin na. Okay, we have to go. Thank you very much, Congressman Lito Atienza.
You talk about Wibulong. Ibulong mo sa akin, sino sa tingin mo gumagawa ng masama na tao ni Manny. I will confront him with it, with the name.
Okay, that will do. Thank you very much, Congressman, and we wish you all the best. And please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong, especially during the campaign.
Thank you, Cito. I've always known you as a very, very just, fair individual. among all the journalists,
Okay.
television,
Fla-
print,
flattery.
I admire you most. The way I admire
Flattery.
your dad, keep it up because you can also be of big help in the
Okay.
changing of the direction of our nation.
Thank you
Kailangan
very much.
magtulong-tulong tayo
That's
lahat.
Congressman Lito Atienza. We have reached our boundary and we close the program with our commanded blessing from the Lord. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his face toward you and give you peace. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.